This episode of the Flush Podcast is brought to you by OnX Hunt, Walton's, Hoxie Native Seeds, the Minnesota Horse and Hunt Club, HuntFishSD.com, Rufflin Kennels, Black Gold Dog Food, and by Game Virtual Shooting Simulators. A new season of the Flush television show is about to kick off on the Outdoor Channel, so Scott Fransen and Tyler Webster are here with me today to tell you why it might be worth your time to watch it. We'll share some behind-the-scenes moments that stuck with us and explain what we learned on the road that could make you a better bird hunter this season. Plus, we'll discuss a few destinations that still remain on the top of our bird hunting bucket list, and maybe yours too. Welcome to another episode of the Flush Podcast. I am your host, Travis Frank, along with Scott Fransen. To my right, in the roost with us today, Tyler the Bird Hammer.
That's it. That's
on
it.
His signature is not with us in person today, but he is with us. Tyler, it appears that you're in your kitchen.
I am. Yeah. My old dog Rusty's out in the podcasting room and he's snoring pretty aggressively loud at the moment.
I didn't believe you until you proved it. Can you prove it again?
I
Please
sure can.
Pull this up. This is ridiculous.
I got a voice memo. He apparently is very relaxed and very comfy.
Listen to this.
And so being
that doesn't even seem
I think that's Tyler passing gas or something.
It's unreal.
The pause in between each of them just made it so much better.
It is so funny. But I mean, apparently he's just very relaxed. It's a nice kind of cool, cloudy day here in North Dakota, and he's having himself a really nice nap out there. Me being the audio professional that I am, I didn't want it to mess up our audio. Otherwise, everybody's going to think that I am actually passing gas about every 12 or 15 seconds. It's pretty impressive.
You could nudge him. And,
I don't want to do that. He's really comfy, obviously. I mean, who wants to get woken up when you're having dreams like that, you know?
That's true. That's true. Which dog of all of yours would be the loudest snorer? Is it Rusty?
Oh, hands down. Yeah, Bo does snore a bit as well. But the girls, they're proper ladies. They don't snore at all. The boys, on the other hand, Rusty is, the older he gets, he's going to be 13 here in September, and boy, it's impressive. I mean, we're going to have to look into like doggy CPAP machines and everything else here pretty quick. I mean, it's getting pretty intense.
Oh my goodness.
Does Daisy snore?
I've heard her. Yeah. I've heard her. Alex, I don't know if you heard the story. Big Al, I forgot to throw it to you right out of the gate here. You are the producer once again, and you got this nice little rack behind us now.
Yeah,
it's
we
a
switched it
different
up
setup for those that are watching this
the Roost
episode.
3.0.
It's still 2.0.
2.5.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's a good thing you waited to throw it to him because he had a mouthful of pizza.
I know.
in
Thank
his
you.
mouth.
Thank you.
and that's why I did it. That's why I jumped in there. I wanted to catch him off guard. I don't know if Scott told you the story, Alex, but I walked into the other room a couple minutes ago and I overheard him saying, I made 2 casts and then I caught my fly in a tree. So I don't know the rest of the story or what happened before that, but that was your weekend. You were fly fishing off your friend's dock.
No. We were up there to golf mostly, but he has this.
Where's there?
Hayward, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, I was just up there too.
Yeah, and he's on a lake called Whitefish Lake. You know where that is?
Nope.
But it's
I
a
bet
great
it's by
lake.
Hayward.
Yeah, it's by Hayward. Yeah.
Right.
And a great little lake, and we had been out pontooning and stuff, and he kept saying, and I brought my fly rod, and he said, well, there's bass right off of here. There's 2 docks. One was real easy to cast on. Cast, catch a fish. Cast, catch
What'd
a
you
fish.
catch?
2 little bass, like that big, nothing big.
He's holding his fingers up to about 10 inches. Or you can be like my son, who's his northern up on the Boundary Waters kept getting bigger. It's probably 16.
16 now,
yeah.
And then he said, well, there are more on this other dock, which is where the pontoon was. And it was really windy, so I couldn't cast straight back and forth. I had to do a roll cast. I did a couple of those, and then I thought, well, maybe if I just go back a little bit, I can get it over there. And I went back a little bit, and it got on a tree there, and then give it a yank, broke. Mm-hmm.
Was it worth climbing the tree to get it back?
No. Yeah, I got a lot of these flies.
To the fly.
I was not that attached. In fact, I didn't even think it would catch fish, but it did.
Wow.
That's how good I am, Travis.
Take a note to all the listeners.
That's how good I am. Yeah.
Still fish, even if you don't think it's going to catch any fish.
Yeah, right. Because when you're skilled as I am, Al, they come. They bite.
I'll need to learn one day.
Yeah.
The
Speaking
bass
of
whisperer.
flies, I just came off of an island in northern Minnesota we had 9 kids, 6 dads, 9 kids.
That's awesome.
We went to the Boundary Waters, and we've been doing this trip with the same group of, us dads now since a couple of my friends started in grade school with their parents.
Wow.
And then I started going with, and a few other buddies, we started going in high school through college till we got married. And then it got a little more sporadic of who could go, babies and everything like that. But now a bunch of our kids are old enough that we're bringing them with. So last year was the first time I brought my boys, and then I brought my nephew with as well. And we had several other kids. We had multiple campsites, and we just had 4.5 days basically on island time, on the Boundary Waters time. It's just one of those treasures. I mean, it's one of those places. We had plenty of other people pass us by over the days, and they came with different accents. I mean, it's a reminder that we think in Minnesota here that it's our Boundary Waters,
Right.
but it's America's Boundary Waters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a place that's very controversial. It's in the news about the mine that's being projected up there. And certainly there's a lot that's going to come of that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what that it will turn into, but it's just a reminder of how special that place is.
How precious.
It is. It is. It's an amazing place. The weather was not great. And there's a new bug. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
I swear there is a new bug. And I've been going for 20 plus years. And last year and this year, there's a bug. It's not an no-see-um. It's not a black fly. It's not a gnat. It's not a mosquito. It's not a horsefly. It is somewhere in between no-see-um and
a mosquito.
Nope.
Maybe we name it the Travis Frank.
And basically, you don't know it's crawling on you until it already gets you. And once it gets you, it crawls underneath. You know, the kids that had longer hair, the girls. Oh, I felt so bad for them because it would climb. It would just tiny little thing, and you were bleeding before you even realized it.
Oh my God!
They bit that hard.
Yeah, and
No
so when
kidding.
you
sounds like a great trip, doesn't it?
I know. So this is the thing. Every one of the kids, we asked, "What was your favorite part? What was your worst part?" And the bugs obviously made it. I don't remember it ever being. There was mosquitoes. There was always been mosquitoes, and there's some no-see-ums and some black flies, depending on when you're there. But this particular bug has made it pretty miserable the last couple of years.
I was going to say, how many years has it been? Like 2 or 3?
The last 2 that I've been up there, and I'm sure there's different bugs throughout the summer, and it changes all the time. So they might be gone now. They might be gone tomorrow. They might be gone in a week or a month. I don't know, but we've gone the same time period the last 2 years, but we've always gone this time period.
Right.
And so not sure what it is. I don't
That's wild.
claim to be, but it's made it really challenging.
And
These
bug
kids-
spray made no difference.
It looked a couple of the kids. No. And we had head nets and we had bug spray and we tried a bunch of different stuff. And I mean, honestly, it looked like a couple of the kids got in a bar fight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, one eye was swollen up and a lot of cheeks and just, man.
Were they still able to smile through the?
They
that
did.
stuff? Yeah.
Those poor little girls, they
Oh.
did smile and oh gosh, but it just broke my heart.
Yeah.
And it made me want to just go on a mission to kill every single one of those bugs. It just made it a different experience all the way around. They were troopers though. We had a great time. We caught a lot of fish. We ate fish. We set some records, kids going in like, what would you love to accomplish? For my son Cash, he said, I want to catch a walleye over 20 inches. I want to catch a nice northern pike, and I want to catch my biggest smallmouth bass. And he checked all the boxes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep. We have a couple of kids that got their boater safety certificates. So what a great place with a little, we didn't do the canoe in where we went. We did motorized, under 25 horsepower or less. You can go to a certain portage point and then you can't cross in where only canoes can go. But we set up camp one time. And so it's not that adventure into the Boundary Waters where you just canoe and noose campsite every single day. We just did one campsite. Well, 2 because we had too many people for one. But the kids got to drive the boat and get their own taste of
Fun.
go find it for yourself, guys.
Yeah.
As long as we can see you, you can take the boat.
Yep.
You know, and they were trolling and catching fish. And
that's great.
Yeah. And I remember getting that freedom.
Yeah.
When you
I
get
did
that
too.
freedom to kind of explore, that's where I think the adventure side really kicks in. That's where you really start to learn, whether it's fishing or hunting,
Mm-hmm.
getting the freedom to go out there. You make your own mistakes.
Yep.
You have to figure it out on your own. And then when you flush the bird or find whatever you're hunting for or the fish and you catch it on your own, you did it all.
Yeah.
You did it all. You put it all together. So I think that's
It's a
really
special
cool.
feeling too.
It is.
It's freedom and accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, their chests were puffed pretty high
Yeah,
when
yeah.
they came into shore, and we watched them, and we could tell. And yeah, it's really rich time, and it's a good reminder that even though some of those things you got to overcome, the hard parts about being out there,
Yeah.
I don't think after a couple days when those bug bites heal up, they're going to be talking about that.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will also say that planning for 4 humans on my side of it versus just me, I am exhausted.
Did you have all 4 of your kids?
I had, myself, 2 boys, and my nephew.
Oh.
And so making sure
Okay.
everybody has enough gear
Yeah.
and, the blow up mattresses,
Mhm.
everything was wet. It rained for 4 days straight. Just when you thought your stuff was going to dry out, it rained,
again.
And so we were always dealing with the elements. And anyway, it's still on the top of my list of favorite places, but I'm tired.
And those nasty bugs keep coming. That could go down a little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking about my daughters being old enough soon to come up there with us.
Yeah.
I'm mad at those bugs right now.
I
I'm
don't
mad
blame
at
you.
them.
You know what bug has kind of freaked me out lately? The Lone Star tick, because you can never eat red meat again.
Well,
Yeah.
not never, but
Well,
yes,
It can go away,
it
but
can,
you
yep.
never know. There's no way to treat it.
very scary. Yep, the ticks for sure.
Mhm.
And I don't know, Tyler, do you have any run-ins with any of those bugs out there? Any of those ticks? Not the Lone Star yet, right?
No, we have ticks here, and this has been a pretty good tick, pretty high tick year, I would say. We've had a bunch of rain here the last month, but we have just the standard wood ticks, or dog ticks, or
Dog
whatever
ticks, yeah.
whatever you guys call it. Lyme's disease is still so rare in North Dakota that vets don't even test for it here. But during turkey season, I was out and it looked like my pants were crawling. I mean, it was crazy. And
Are
so
you getting itchy now, Travis?
and usually the ticks aren't bad enough where I have to permethrin all my clothes and all that kind of stuff. This year they were. But I use the Seresto collars on my dogs. I don't use the Brevecta, and my dogs are outside 10 times a day running in the tall grass, and I haven't found any ticks attached to any of my dogs yet. So those Seresto collars do work pretty well. But other than that, we got a pretty good crop of mosquitoes this year. If you go and walk across the yard in the evening, you can feel your feet coming off the ground, that kind of stuff.
Man.
But
Really?
I mean, yeah, the mosquitoes have been really bad.
Have you
this year.
gotten moisture out there? And for people listening that don't know, Tyler's in Northwest North Dakota in the town
Yeah.
of Stanley.
Yeah. It can stop actually anytime now.
Really?
A month ago, probably right at a month ago, we had the first legitimate dust storm that we've had in, I talked to my neighbor, rancher, lives about 5-6 miles away from me. He's 81 years old, and he said that's the first dust storm he's ever seen in his lifetime. We had that the middle of May. And now it's, I don't know how many inches of rain we had last week, but it was, we had 4 or 5 days of rain last week. Seems like the wind's blowing every day, and not just North Dakota wind. I mean, wind,
right.
20, 30 mile an hour winds. There was a fishing tournament down at the lake this weekend that a bunch of my friends were fishing in on Friday and Saturday, the Van Hook Classic, big yearly tournament down there. And on Friday, the wind blew 30 to 40. And on Saturday, the wind blew 25 to 35 with gusts to 45. And they still went out. Like they didn't
What a
cancel
fun
the
day
tournament.
on the boat.
Oh,
That's
my
big
God.
water out there too.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll
Huge.
rip you up.
Huge. Yeah. But people caught a bunch of fish and big fish. The winning weight for 10 fish in a 2-day tournament was like 68 pounds. So, I mean, when you're talking about a 6.8 pound average, it's, but the lake's so dang low that I don't want to be like, I was out yesterday and I don't know what kind of graphs you guys use in your boat, but I got the Lowrances, the HDS 16s are what I use. And the
What
problem
a
with
flex. Listen
the
to
problem with
16s.
I got 2 of them on my dash.
right.
It's pretty
Yeah.
ridiculous.
He
Looking
still
up
doesn't
there.
know how to work them though. He
I
calls
don't,
and asks
not at
how
all.
to turn it on. So
I can
you
turn
can
it
flex
on, but
all
that's
you
about
want,
it.
Tyler. I'm not gonna.
But the problem with the Lowrance is that the water offset is not nearly as good as it is on some of the hummingbirds. And so,
You're
like our
talking the
lake,
mapping.
the GPS
mapping, yeah.
mapping. And so where it says I should be in 20 feet of water, it's 6 feet out of water down there right now. And so like there's all those sunken islands in the Van Hook Arm. It's kind of a little bit of a sketchy place to be running your boat around if you don't know exactly where you're going. So I was out yesterday and 20 to 35 miles an hour is about all the faster I was comfortable going in most places, just because there's a lot of islands that used to be 25 feet of water that are prop busters right now.
Wow.
So
But that's why
yeah.
I'm surprised that your mosquitoes have had such a good hatch, because it's
Yeah.
been so dry. It would have just sucked all that water right up.
We got all that rain and heat came at the exact same time, and that's just mosquito soup.
Last
like,
week it was
literally.
so hot.
Yeah, we caught the first rains came right when it warmed up, and it seemed like that was exactly what they needed. But I was out mowing grass 2 days ago, and in the evening it's almost unbearable outside. I mean, it probably won't last very long, but right now they're pretty tough.
Plus, you get your water for the lake from Montana. don't you? Yeah,
Yep.
and they
Yep.
had a dry winter this year too.
Yeah, and it's going to start coming up a little bit, but when all that snow melt actually comes down, the Yellowstone and the Missouri, but it's going to be. I think we started out this year about 6 feet lower than what we did last year, and last year was pretty low. So I think our high water mark for this year is going to be our low water mark for last year, I think is what the Corps of Engineers is predicting. But
Well,
fishing's still good.
fishing is always good. Catching, on the other hand,
It's even better.
The
the
catching
hatch,
is good.
the hatch is happening all over right now. I've started to get videos and photos from friends sending them over. Pheasants are on the ground. The little tiny ones are on the ground. Typically in our region, Minnesota, Dakotas, Iowa, biologists will tell you that right around June 10th tends to be the peak of the hatch, the first hatch. Are you seeing them, Tyler, out there?
Not yet. So that's kind of the problem that we've had here. This last week we had really cold, really wet weather. We had a couple days where
Don't say that. Knock it off.
was
How
not
cold?
good.
How cold?
Well, I woke up last Thursday and headed to work, and it was 42. That's pretty cold when it's wet.
That'll kill a chick. Dang
Yeah.
it.
But with our spring being so late this year, I talked to one guy yesterday that lives down in Watford City, and he said he just seen his first brood of pheasants of the year, and that was yesterday. He said he seen them on Friday, and he said they were tiny, tiny. So I'm hoping that maybe, there's 2 ways to look at it. Either it was cold enough where it just zapped all the babies, and maybe there'll be a renest situation. Or with the late spring, maybe they just, they're just a touch later than what they typically have been. But usually I don't start seeing many small pheasants until the end of June, just because our grass in the ditches and everything else is so tall. When they start mowing the ditches that first week of July and they start cutting alfalfa for that first cutting, that's when you kind of start seeing all the birds. So I'm not overly concerned about it yet, but it would be really nice if it would dry out and get warm here for the next month and a half would be pretty ideal.
Do you guys have laws in North Dakota that prevent mowing of ditches until a certain point?
I believe the mowing ditches, I don't think starts until the middle of July. I believe, anyways.
Alex, can you verify this? In Minnesota, I believe it's August 1st.
I think you're right.
And
They
a lot
changed
of
that.
people do it anyway. They mow it anyway. They're not supposed to, because it hasn't really been properly managed. Nobody's holding them accountable.
Sure.
But by law, Al, if you can correct me here, but I want to say August 1st is when in Minnesota.
The general public and state agencies are restricted from mowing the full width of ditches outside city limits until August 1st.
There it is. Yeah. So just a reminder, people, if you're listening, it is against the law to mow your ditches right now.
I'll look up North Dakota too. Just
Yeah, there you go. Check it out.
I think that changed like 15
This
years ago or
says
something.
ditch mowing for state highways begins mid-June through July 1st in North Dakota.
There you go. So it's the 15th today, which means people can start mowing probably.
Depends by county. Like
Okay.
this one says Williams County June 17th, Barnes County June 22nd, stuff like that.
Yeah. So
But it's
when you're
June.
driving, next time you're driving down the road and you see a bunch of nicely manicured ditches in Minnesota, and it's July 1st, or if you're listening right now as you're driving down the road in Minnesota and you see mowed ditches, just know that's illegal,
Right?
by law. Now, who holds them accountable? I don't know. That's been Dennis Anderson at the Star Tribune. Did you read his article last summer?
I did not.
He talked
no.
about how this would have a very positive effect on a lot of bird species and wildlife in the state. But the fact is that so many ditches are being mowed right now that it's Wild West. Nobody holds anyone accountable for it, and they just keep doing it.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So just know that you can police yourself, and you can mention to your buddy, hey, Johnny, I see that beautiful ditch of yours that's mowed. Just a heads up, it is actually a law that says you can't mow that until August 1st.
And you can make a difference by not mowing it until August 1st.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
All those nests right now. 40 years sure is a long time to be in business, and that's exactly how long Walton's has been helping America's butchers, hunters, anglers, and families prepare their meat. That is quite a milestone, and to that, I say, Walton's, congratulations on 40 years in business to your entire family. I sincerely hope that you know how hard they work to provide all of us with the right tools to process and prepare all of our hard-earned meat. Walton's motto is everything but the meat for a reason. They have everything we need to process every cut of meat you can think of, and after a long hunting season, I'm hoping you have a freezer full of it. If you're looking to make sausage, jerky, snack sticks, roast, you name it, Walton's can help you with the tools and the knowledge to do it right the first time. Check them out at waltons.com. And congratulations on 40 years in business. You've earned our trust. If you're looking to sharpen your upland shooting skills, or maybe your kids are starting to get into the sport like mine are, then you need to check out GAIM. That's GAIM. Our friends over there are changing the way we approach training. Their cutting-edge virtual reality hunting and shooting scenarios immerse you in the field without actually leaving your home. Whether it's game birds or clays, the GAIM system allows you to practice your shotgun mechanics, giving you real-time shot feedback that allows for instant adjustments. And it's been incredibly fun for my kids. It allows them to safely build confidence, which I know translates to success in the field. Virtual training, real results. Click the show description below to learn more, or visit their website at game.com to try for yourself. That's GAIM.com.
If you're heading out on the next hunt, don't forget the teammate who never complains and never misses, your dog. At Roughland, we built the ultimate travel system for hunting dogs and the people who run with them. It starts with our one-piece kennels, built tough to handle rough roads, cold mornings, and whatever else the season throws at you. From there, customize your system with stackable gear, food and water containers, organization trays, or insulated covers. Everything is lightweight, field-tested, and made right here in the USA. Because let's be real, we don't deserve great dogs, but great dogs, they deserve a Roughland. Visit roughlandkennels.com today and build your version of the ultimate travel system before your next flush.
Here's a scouting tip that might just help you find a few more wild birds. First, grab your phone and then open up the OnX Hunt app. In the bottom right corner, click on the 2D button and then select 3D. Then place 2 fingers on the screen of your phone and slide them up together at the same time. After that, zoom into a property that you've hunted before or one that you've never been to and take a look at the terrain in 3D. I bet you'll see a few nooks and crannies that will hold birds out of the elements. I bet you'll see the land in a dimension that you never thought possible. These are the details that matter when you're putting miles on the truck and on your boots during a hunt. OnX Hunt is the ultimate tool for us bird hunters. It shows our position on planet Earth, land boundaries, land topography, burns, forests that have been logged, weather, and a whole bunch of other features that will make you a better hunter. If you've never tried the OnX Hunt app, then you can download a free 7-day trial to help you understand why hunters like myself simply can't hunt without it. Know where you stand with OnX Hunt. Just a reminder, if you flush a hen, the closer the hen is to the eggs hatching, the closer the tighter she will hold. So if she gets up right in front of you, just know that the eggs are ready to hatch. Get out of there. Let her get back on those eggs, especially like Tyler said. This morning I woke up and it was a little chilly as well. I think it was low 50s here in central Minnesota last night. So just know that time is of the essence right now. And we want as many of those chicks, obviously, to hatch. I think this is kind of cool. I don't know, Tyler or Scott, if you guys watch this or follow this, but on Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever's social media accounts, they do Pheasant Fact Friday and Quail Fact Friday.
I have seen that.
They're great. They're great.
Yeah.
This most recent one from this last Friday said, should landowners try incubating the eggs they find while harvesting fields? If harvesting killed the hen, then try incubating the eggs. If the hen survived, the eggs are better left in the nest. True, once the protective cover is harvested, predators have a good chance of finding the hen and the nest, but it is better to chance predation and maybe allow the hen to raise her family than to create an incubator brooder mother. Without a hen to teach survival techniques and feeding habits and to reinforce instinctive behavior patterns, the chicks' chances of surviving the wild is small.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last night, we're driving on the road and we see a coyote, my son and I at Weston, and he's like, Dad, look at that. And he was chasing some birds out in the field. And coyotes typically are going to mice around. They might get some rabbits. You don't see them.
What kind of birds?
I want to say
Like doves? Or
no. I want to say they were killdeer.
killdeer.
You know how the killdeer will put on that
yes.
show,
Drive
the,
a dog
the
crazy.
wounded.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a big coyote. And Weston goes, "Dad, it's the biggest coyote I've ever seen. You sure it wasn't a wolf?" And then I looked at him. He goes, "Yeah, okay, I know it wasn't a wolf, but that was the biggest coyote I've ever seen." And it was great because we slowed down a little bit and we could watch these two killdeer just putting on the show and keep pulling.
Well,
obviously, I knew there was a nest there, most likely.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And it was, I want to say it was alfalfa. And this one hadn't been harvested yet. But there are a lot of alfalfa fields that are
They're
being
growing fast.
harvested right now.
They're
And typically,
they're looking really
the-
good up here.
I know the harvest tends to happen when the first hatch
Yeah.
is happening. And so there's this conundrum. What does a farmer do? Does he hatch? Does he wait? You're risking a lot by waiting. If you have the chance, most farmers are going to say, I would love to see those pheasants, but I need to cut this grass.
I got to get the.
I need to
because
cut
they're
this
watching the
alfalfa.
weather. They have to dry
Yes.
it. There's a lot of variables in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Pheasants Forever would tell you that there's different alfalfa that would allow it to mature at a different time. And so if you're wanting to protect those hens on the nest, you can have a different kind of alfalfa that would then mature a little bit later, give those hens a chance to hatch the birds and get out of there, get out of the way, because obviously we all want to see the hens succeed out there. Tyler?
There's a alfalfa field just west of my house over here that the seed was provided by either Delta Waterfowl or Ducks Unlimited, and they provided the seed for the initial planting of this alfalfa field, but the regulations are a little bit different. They're not allowed to cut that alfalfa till the 1st of August, I believe. And they only get one cutting off per year.
Interesting.
And stuff like that's pretty nice. One of the things up here that kind of protects the alfalfa fields in particular is the fact that the landowners up here just own so much ground that, you know, they're getting all their fields planted, which usually doesn't end until that first week of June timeframe. Then they got to spray. Then they go to alfalfa. So like they have their priorities. So you very seldom see alfalfa start coming off up here until the 1st of July at the very earliest. And a lot of them are still getting cut in August. So it works out well. You know, if a guy only has 2,000 acres of hay ground and, you know, maybe one ag field, you know, landowners and farmers, they're very goal driven people. Like they have these things that they have to get done. So if they got their couple quarters of land already seeded and they got it sprayed and everything else, they're like, TikTok guys, you know, like we got to do something. We're not allowed to sit here and just kind of relax. So then they're out there cutting our alfalfa early, trying to get multiple cuttings. All that kind of stuff, which, I mean, I get it, you know, especially those smaller guys, you got to make it, you know, you got to square the circle somehow. But,
the
you know,
ideal
up here,
for a
they're
lot
pretty-
of them is to get 3 cuts in a season.
Right.
Three
And
would be great.
up here, maybe 2, maybe. But there's just so much more alfalfa ground up here that they just don't need to worry about it quite as much.
Couple of listener questions we're going to jump into that just came in, and then we're going to preview our season because
What?
we'll finally get to
We have
it.
a new season?
We got a new season, Scott. First,
New season is here. The new season is here.
This is literally, I just opened up an email or a message, and this one comes from listener Tom. Travis, I've been following your show for years now. I love both the podcast and the TV show. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
My group of 6 hunters are heading to North Dakota this year. We've been going to South Dakota from Atlanta, but trying a new adventure. I'm not looking for pins, but wondering what region would you suggest? And the reason I brought this up is because we have Mr. North Dakota, aka the Bird Hammer.
The Bird Hammer.
Bird Hammer.
Yeah, and my answer to him was that there's information coming in the coming weeks that will direct you towards the hatch.
Yeah.
We don't have that yet. We don't know what the hatch is going to be. I would suggest Northwest part of the state for a region, but I think there's actually going to be a couple of sleepers in North Dakota from a couple of other sources that I've been talking to. I'll let you go first, Tyler.
Sure. The first question I would have for him is, what is he targeting, right? Because if he's going out in September and they're going to go look for sharp tails and that kind of stuff, it's going to 100% depend on the hatch. Because, I mean, it hasn't been a secret the last couple of years. I've been talking about it up here in the Northwest. Our sharp tail and hun numbers have been down pretty substantially the last 2 seasons. Last year was pretty noticeable. I was just joking on another podcast the other day that I shot more huns last year in Nevada than I did in North Dakota. And it wasn't because I didn't see them. It's because me and Wes and George, we kind of took the pledge amongst each other that we wouldn't shoot at small coveys. And that's what we were seeing. We were still seeing good numbers of coveys, but we were seeing a lot of like 6 and 8 bird coveys. And we just didn't really want to be part of the reason why those coveys weren't there anymore. So we just stopped shooting them. So I shot 6 total huns in North Dakota last year. Now, with that said, down in the southwest part of the state, they did a little bit better on their hun production and on their sharp tail production. So, like you can ask the question, where should you go? But unless I know a time frame and an area, it's going to change a little bit. So like pheasants the last couple of years in North Dakota have been just off the charts. There's pheasants all over the place. I can drive from my house to the Stanley Golf Course, which is 5.5 miles. And on any given evening this spring, you'd see 40, 50 pheasants alongside the road going to Stanley, which is not a hot spot for pheasant hunting. You go up in some of the other areas of the state that are really, really good for pheasants, and you're seeing hundreds and hundreds of pheasants every day. But a really good just starting point, any place along Lake Sakakawea. Lake Sakakawea's got some really good wildlife management areas. There's a bunch of state land down there. Obviously, there's the PLOTS program, the PATH program, all that kind of stuff. But Lake Sakakawea, even all the way back to when I was a kid and when you first started coming out here, Travis, Scott's been coming out here since the 1880s or whatever.
Yeah, 1700s, I believe.
Right. Covered wagon. Yeah.
Right. But when I was growing up, we didn't have pheasants right by Minot where I grew up at. I mean, I didn't shoot my first pheasant until I was 12. I started hunting when I was 8. They just didn't exist there. If you wanted to find pheasants, you had to go down along the lake or you had to go west and south. So, that core area down there along Lake Sakakawea provides a ton of really unbelievable habitat for the birds. Great nesting cover on the shorelines. We talked a little bit about how low the lake is. That creates a lot more pheasant habitat. And
Yes,
Scott,
sir.
Scott, I know that you were down there hunting some of those spots down by the lake last year. That cover down there is impenetrable.
It's crazy. It's crazy where you'll see pheasant tracks where you think you should be seeing, fishing basically, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that a couple of years ago. Remember, Tyler, when I hunted along the shorelines too, and their crops were full of the worms that they were pulling out of the water. So the pheasants were in the waterfowl habitat. Yeah. It's crazy. We were flushing them with water on our feet. I mean,
and it's everything you think a pheasant wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Is they're doing it. Your eye does not go, oh, let's go down to the lake and flush a bunch of pheasants. You're in this cover.
You're literally hunting the beach.
Yeah.
You're hunting the
until
beach.
you see them go down there.
And you had to trust the dog in order to after the dog kept putting birds up along the shoreline. I'm like, okay, we're going to move this way and just see what happens. And I'm going to jump in right there because there's another big body of water to the east of you called Devil's Lake.
Mhm.
And Devil's Lake has also seen what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And the water levels going down around Devil's Lake have created thousands of acres of habitat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so there's also a few birds that in that region, the numbers have continued to rise.
Yeah.
So, listener Tom, if I were to say right now today, I would still head from Lake Sakakawea west.
Mhm.
But there are going to be areas, and the Devil's Lake area is another one, where there's more habitat now because of the water levels that have changed the last couple of years. I keep hearing that there's more birds in those areas as well. So
Probably not as many hunters.
not
either.
as many hunters.
I have
But
a
the
question.
problem,
Scott's
the
hand is
problem-
up.
Tyler, I have a
Okay,
question for you.
okay, fire.
So when you were 8 until you were 12 and you hadn't harvested a pheasant, so you weren't the bird hammer then. Is that right?
I was the sharp tail hammer then. I
Oh,
was
the
a single
sharp-
shot 410, man. I was a killer with that thing.
He didn't have a variety then, so he couldn't be the bird hammer.
Gotcha.
Right.
What was the
Okay.
first creature you hunted for? Do you remember? Think about this. Was it a bird of some kind that you probably wouldn't
hunted
legally
for
be
where
able
they
to shoot
shot
today?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you're a kid, you have
I
to
was-
prove your shot on something.
Oh, I was a menace with a pellet gun
Yes,
when I was a
same
kid.
here, same here.
Like the poor English sparrow population really suffered around me and my
on
cousins.
the farm. Yep, mine
Yeah.
I believe would have been a sparrow too, followed
Yeah.
shortly by squirrels and rabbits.
I
And then
I remember I killed a squirrel, a gray squirrel with a Daisy Red Ryder BB gun, and it was like I was big game hunting. I couldn't have been more proud if I would have shot a 380-inch bull elk.
right. I had there was a bounty in our neighborhood on chipmunks.
Mm.
Actually, our neighbors would pay me $0.25 per chipmunk that I could prove that I
That was
took out.
money back then.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. So I would get corn, shucked corn, cracked corn, didn't matter. And I'd set it out in areas and they'd come out from underneath their deck and I would be hiding in the bushes, laying there with my BB gun. It wasn't a Daisy, it was a 10 pump. You know what I'm talking about? The one
Oh,
that
yeah.
pump
Oh,
up
yeah,
that deck?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that thing would come up and take a bite. Wham!
Pow. Yeah.
Pow with the BB gun. And I'd come
You'd
out
go with
with
a
it.
stringer full of chipmunks.
Damn
in your neighbor
right.
going, you owe me a buck. You owe me a buck.
Absolutely.
Yesterday,
Yes.
I was at my girlfriend's house and her little cousin came over and he's just like that. He brought two of his pellet guns over and he's like, "Who wants to shoot next? Who wants to shoot next?" And he's like
I
looking in
can't.
the trees and he's like, "Why can't I shoot the Cardinals?" And we're like, "Because you can't just shoot anything and
Because they
everything."
marry for life.
Exactly. But I would spend hours hiding and waiting. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's where you learn
Yeah.
that if you want it, you got to wait for it. Yeah.
I do want to just kind of finish up on your thought about Devil's Lake. The one downside to that area over there, and you're 100% right, the pheasant population over there has grown pretty drastically in the last few years. The access is a lot harder over in that country. And the reason that I would suggest Sakakawea is because it is a Corps of Engineers lake. So you can hunt the shoreline, and then the Game and Fish has done a lot of work with wildlife management areas down in that country, like all the way from the east end of the lake all the way through. You can follow it. So the access around Lake Sakakawea is going to be a lot easier with guys coming up here that have never hunted up here before than Devil's Lake would be. Devil's Lake is going to take a little bit of legwork and politicking to get some permission over there, just because
It's still
the
okay
lake
to knock
itself.
on a door. There's
100% it
permission.
is. Yep, 100% it is. But that's a huge waterfowl hunting area over there as well. So even though you're going to see less upland hunters over there, you're still going to see plenty of hunters.
Yeah. And those doors get knocked on a lot for waterfowl hunters over
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
So the hatch information will be coming in a few weeks. We'll continue as hunting season draws near. We'll talk more about what we're hearing from biologists, some of the reports that we're seeing. Obviously, early stages right now. I don't like your report though, Tyler. I don't like this
I know.
cold rain that you've been talking about.
I don't either.
Once that chick hatches, if there's a pip in an egg, that hen will not renest. So it's one of those things where if we had a bunch
The
of
egg hatches, you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once an egg cracks,
Yeah.
she will not renest. It doesn't matter
Yep.
if she loses all of them from that point on. She goes from sitting mode to mother mode and she doesn't go back. So that's why they don't lose. If they lose the chicks, they don't go and renest. So that's why that cold weather scares me, because you don't get I'd rather lose them
while they're
while
still
they're
in the
still
egg.
in the egg,
Yeah.
and then you get a chance at re-nesting. But we'll see. I guess we will see. This one comes in from listener Eric. Hey guys, love all the content y'all produce. I'm planning my first DIY South Dakota upland hunt this fall and was hoping to get your thoughts. The current plan is a 4 to 5 day trip around October 26th through the 30th, focusing on the Fort Pierre, Chamberlain, and Presho areas. I'll be hunting behind my GSP and hoping to target a mix of pheasants and sharp-tailed grouse, with prairie chicken being a bonus if we run into them. I've been researching access, habitat, and timing, but as a first-time DIY South Dakota hunter, I'm sure there are things I don't know. Any advice on habitat types, common mistakes, or things you do differently? If you've already covered this type of info in one of your podcasts, is there a direction you can point me? I also watched the episode with the snake bite that happened out on Fort Pierre National Grassland. Was there any more info on what the proper protocol is to handle that situation? Appreciate any insight you're willing to share, and thanks for all the great content over the years. Who wants to jump in first?
Well, it actually works pretty well with one of the new episodes that people are going to be seeing here coming up very soon on the Outdoor Channel. I was down there at very end of October and the first couple days of November last year with Tim Brown chasing prairie chickens primarily, but also spending some time hunting pheasants. I like the time frame that he's picking. So like that time of the year, snakes are going to be much less common than what
you could have snow
when,
on the ground that time of the year.
Very well could, yeah. And so like when that snake bite episode happened, and I'm pretty sure that was probably end of September time frame, maybe early October.
Let's say September 15th through the 20th, roughly, because that's about when their prairie bird season opens out there, and we were the first week. So it was mid-September.
Yeah, and so like the later in the season you get, we live in like Travis said, we could very easily have snow down there that time of the year. We got lucky when I was down there last year. The first week in November, we had temps that were in the like low 70s, upper 60s in the afternoons. That's warm enough where you can run into snakes in the afternoon. They're going to be pretty lethargic and all that kind of stuff. It's not going to be nearly as much of an issue as it is early in the year when they're.
I don't know, man. I don't want to see a snake.
Yeah.
Serpents.
They don't necessarily bother me that much. I do worry about the dogs, but the biggest piece of advice I can give you about hunting on the Fort Pierre, if you're targeting, first of all, I think he had his bird species flipped a little bit. You're going to see more prairie chickens than you are sharptails. Just going to say that. You will see both. They'll come up in the same flock. They live in the same kind of areas. You're going to see both. But the prairie chickens down there are way more common than sharptails. And it's one of the cool places that you can actually have a real shot at getting a hybrid. They will hybridize.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Did you guys get any sharptails, Tyler?
We did.
You did? Okay.
Yep. Tim, I think, got 2, and I didn't shoot any sharptails, but I was pretty focused on the ones with the square tails.
We only got chickens when I hunted it too. Yep.
Yeah. Tim got 1 or 2 for sure. I think he got 2. I think he got 1 over Rusty, and he got another one over his dog Mac, if I remember right. But the big thing to remember on the Fort Pierre, if you're out there hunting the prairie grouse species, is just avoid prairie dog towns. Avoid them. Do not cross them. Walk around them. Don't go within a quarter mile of them, because those rattlesnakes will use those prairie dog dens as den sites for snakes. And you can walk across prairie dog town and see a lot of rattlesnakes. And if you're just out in the grass that time of the year, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's not something that would be really on the top side of my mind. I mean, it's possible, but it's just not going to be real. It's not going to be a real common occurrence. Now, with that said, the pheasants, there was tons of pheasants down in that country last year. And there was lots of pheasants on the state managed open. I can't remember what their program is. It's
Not
CREP, maybe?
it's not. Well, there's CREP there, but I think they have state managed land and state land, kind of like.
I was thinking more of the walk-in stuff. So it might be the CREP. I can't remember. But we didn't hunt any of that. We just hunted the national grasslands is what we were focused on, because we were down there focused on chickens. And any place later in the season that you can get within close proximity to particularly a milo field, you're going to find both pheasants, sharptails, and prairie chickens. And I mean, like, so if you can find a piece of state trust land that has some nice taller grass that runs adjacent to a milo field, you're probably going to move pheasants and chickens out of that stuff.
Yeah, the interesting thing about chickens too is that they will fly quite a distance to their food from where they're roosting. So often if you just have a good vantage point and a cup of coffee in the morning, you're going to see where these birds are going to go fly to. They could fly out of sight.
Yep.
But they're probably going to come back. So you could be walking some of the most beautiful grass the Fort Pierre has at the wrong time and not see a single bird there. But then in 2 hours, when they come back from feeding, it's almost like waterfowl that go out.
Yep.
You know? The chickens are just so much different that way. It's a different hunt, but you learn it, you understand it, you can overcome it. And I just a second what you said on the snake stuff, just to answer Eric, any more info on the protocol, talk to your vet before you go, and then also call a vet in town because they're getting pretty used to this. I know last year from several people that I talked to that hunted around the Fort Pierre area, lots of serpents, a lot of snakes out for the first month of the hunting season last year. There were birds there. There were also quite a few hunters. So, you know, if you're coming up from, and I don't think Eric said where he's coming from, but they got 4 to 5 days, and, you know, it's okay to drive to a different region. It's okay to head over to Chamberlain or somewhere else. But again, I think, Eric, my best advice is we are going to find out a lot in the coming weeks about areas that maybe have a bad hailstorm, that maybe had a washout, that lost or had great conditions.
Or drought or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So be willing, and it sounds like he is, be willing to just travel a little bit. An hour or two can save your trip, especially when you've got a few days planned here.
I would just add to the dog question, you said call a local vet. Well, try and home in on what areas you're going to be at and find the veterinary clinics in those areas and make sure you find one that has an emergency vet service so that if, God forbid, you need it, you've already done that research and hopefully have that number in your phone.
Yeah. And then ask, what would you do? What should I do if we get a bite? What do I need to do? What are my steps? So at least you're thinking about it in case it should happen. Hopefully it doesn't, but you never know. You got to be ready. You're heading into that country, so that's a real possibility.
But if it does happen, that's, you know, as calm as you try and stay, it's very hard to do that. So if you've done the little bit of research up front, maybe then you're just like, okay, I know where to go, I know what to do, etc.
Yep. Tyler, you threw out the first episode, so I will jump in. And Ben Redigan and I, we recorded a podcast from Montana last year. We were in the central part of the state. We did a cast and blast adventure, and I want to do more adventures similar to that one because when I watched it back, Scott, it made me want to hook the boat up and throw the kennel in at the same time. There's just so much untouched, maybe not untouched, but not as heavily hunted ground when you have to take that next step to get there. You know, if I can drive a truck right to it, so can everybody else. Now, is somebody going to haul a boat somewhere and then drive the boat with their dog and get out and hunt? I don't know. I think there's less.
You definitely eliminated a certain percentage of the hunters.
Yeah, exactly. And it just, I don't know. It's kind of cool when you get out to places where it's not heavily hunted and you try it, and sometimes it works, and sometimes maybe it wasn't as good as you thought.
But you had an adventure.
Exactly.
It's like we didn't get a bird, but that was really fun.
Yeah.
You know, or we got a bunch of birds and it's still really fun.
Yeah. So I think people are that's the first show of the season right out of the gate, and hopefully people like it. Also, just to throw it out there, Scott, you and I watched. Our graphics guy is hard at work right now putting together a new graphics package featuring the bird hammer as well. So
am I actually identified as the bird hammer in the?
You are not.
Dang it.
No. We'll let them decide for themselves if they really believe that you are. But no, new show open, new graphics,
new music,
yeah,
graphics. It's
exciting.
Brand new shiny
toy. I mean, we had to do. It was due for a little more modern feel, more adventure-ish. I would say.
And I hope
adventurous.
people like it.
I do
You
too.
know, it's
If not,
there's going to be
some.
some people that say, "Oh, I like the old open better," but hopefully everybody can appreciate this one, and some will really like it.
Yeah, Scott, where'd you go first?
I went on my way down Highway 2.
That's right. The
I
white,
was
and
on
the
my
white
way-
whale.
Yes, the white whale.
I saw just a little bit of your episode, the first one. You and your buddies.
Did they
my
close up
goodness.
the camera on you while you were driving and you were getting hit by all the wind?
Oh yeah.
Your
Well, then we
panicked
also had a
face.
close up on the Flush podcast on
Oh,
the
yeah.
dash. You know that
Oh,
with the
geez.
title Scott buys. Thanks, Al. Thanks on that one. No, that's the second episode, I believe. And
By the way, Travis brought up the idea of you buying, I think.
did he?
I don't know.
I thought it was
I thought
my
you
idea.
did.
Tyler had a say in it.
I don't know, but it was a great trip, and it's a somewhat do-it-yourself trip in that an adventure. The adventure's in an RV versus something else, and there's all sorts of opportunities and small challenges that an RV can bring. There's 4 dudes in an RV when you count Ben.
How many days in the RV?
6 days.
How
No
bad is-
showers.
6.
No showers.
Well, hey, no. I mean, I tried, but Ben used all the hot water. And we got into birds every place we went. And that was really the goal beyond spending this time with, my 2 best hunting buddies and with we talk about, or I talk a little bit about, it's the people, the places, and the dogs that you hunt with and love to be with. And, we had dogs at the end of their career, middle of their career, and somewhat in the beginning, and hunters who are in the probably last third of their hunting career, which is, hard to think about. And we just had a gas. We just had so much fun, and we found birds and kind of checked all the boxes.
I think you kept moving every day, right?
We stayed in Minnesota 2 nights, North Dakota 2 nights, or was that three nights, I think. And then Montana 2 nights, one night. Two, I think.
So the challenge is when you're always on the move is usually it takes a day to really get
Mhm.
yourself dialed in on where the birds are, what are they doing, and then you're on the road again.
Right.
So you constantly have to do it. Which personally, that's a part of the hunt that I really like.
I agree.
I don't need to pull the
I
trigger
do too.
and fill the bag every single time I would go on a walk. I like to figure it out.
I do too. And North Dakota was not quite as difficult because I had hunted in this area before. But that doesn't mean there's always birds there. But we had at least knew enough where to we'd gotten birds before to start and look. We did a lot of research, particularly Brad did a lot of research on the Minnesota spot, our grouse spot. And that was the biggest wild card. And that was the most pleasant surprise because, we flushed 15 grouse. And I hadn't seen that many grouse in the grouse woods in a long time. And it was a picture perfect Minnesota fall day, kind of what you think about when you want to go grouse hunting. Crisp, a little bit of wind, you got up to maybe 60 degrees. It was just magical. And the camp spot was magical. And that was the second part of the assignment that we all had is where we're going to hunt, find us a camp spot, a good camp spot. Now, Montana left a little be desired in the camp spot, as the rest area.
Flat.
It's a rest area.
Oh my god!
In some place. And that was
Who was in charge of that
was Steve
one?
Warner's spot.
Steve.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
But other than that, that's why in that podcast we're talking about, we can say, we can see the sunlight setting or the lights of the sky and blah, blah, was a bar light flashing, like come over here, free beer type of thing.
That's actually why Steve wanted to camp there. Let's
Yeah.
be
That's
very
right.
Walking
clear.
distance from the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
When the hunt is on, your dog's performance matters. Every step, every sprint, every retrieve. It takes stamina, strength, and focus, and that starts with what's in their bowl. Black Gold dog food is crafted for active dogs, delivering the balanced nutrition they need to power through the season and beyond. Because a good diet isn't just fuel for today's hunt, it's the foundation for all-season performance. Visit blackgoldpet.com to learn more and find a retailer near you. Black Gold. Unleash adventure.
I get asked all the time about places to hunt in South Dakota. These questions usually come from out-of-town hunters that want the real South Dakota pheasant hunting experience for wild birds. My answer is Aberdeen. Aberdeen is a hub for out-of-town bird hunters. They have dog and hunter-friendly hotels and lodges where you can bring your own dogs and clean your own birds right there on site. They have thousands of acres of public land within a short drive of town, and there are wild pheasants on all of them. I know this because I've hunted several of these properties myself. I've seen those big flushes where the birds get up in waves, and it's awesome. In addition to the state and federal properties, they also have the Aberdeen Pheasant Coalition properties in the area that are open to public hunting. When you look at a map of publicly accessible places to hunt for wild birds in South Dakota and you zoom into the Aberdeen area, you'll see what I mean. To learn more about Aberdeen's pheasant hunting opportunities and get a free hunting guide, head to huntfishsd.com. I live for bird hunting, and I'm guessing that because you're listening to this podcast, that you do too. Well, we all know that you don't have good bird hunting without good habitat. It's just that simple. Few people know more about wildlife habitat and how to create it than the hardworking team at Hoxsey Native Seeds. Hoxsey Native Seeds is family owned and operated. They're as good of people as you'll ever meet. And Nicholas Lirio and Kent Boucher are also my friends. They've provided America's bird hunters with countless acres of premium native habitat mixes sourced straight from their own fields in the heart of Iowa. They have seeds for perennial food plots, quail mixes, pheasant mixes, CRP, even dog-friendly seed mixes. They are my go-to source for all wildlife habitat questions, and they can be your source too. To learn more about their native seeds, when and how to plant them, as well as maintain your premium wildlife habitat, head to HoxseyNativeSeeds.com. That's HOKSEY nativeseeds.com.
Hey, Flush fans, the Minnesota Horse and Hunt Club has expanded into South Dakota. Oak Tree by Horse and Hunt is the ultimate South Dakota pheasant hunting lodge. 15,000 square feet with private bedrooms, 6,000 premier acres, full hospitality and bar, and open to the public. 2-night, 3-day packages September through March are available. Book your next hunt today. Visit huntoaktree.com. That's huntoaktree.com.
We go to the UP of Michigan, which I had never hunted before. And you mentioned the rough grouse. I just have to say this a couple days ago, Cash and I are sitting in the boat up in the Boundary Waters and we're catching walleyes. I think we had a double and I look over his shoulder and a rough grouse flew from one island to the opposite side of the channel that we were.
New adventure.
Exactly. I know. Well, I mean, we've filmed, I think Bill's done a couple of rough grouse episodes in the Boundary Waters.
Yeah.
Or on the edge of the Boundary Waters.
Correct.
Because there's been a while there where you couldn't film
Yep.
in the Boundary Waters.
Yep.
Just, they wouldn't allow permits. So, but it's a very similar type of a hunt. And honestly, I think it would be very similar to the hunt that we did on Lake of the Woods for grouse up there too, because you're not going to hunt the portages during the fall because there's people carrying
coming in and out,
on their shoulders. So everything else is just
bushwhacking.
Bushwhacking. Yeah, exactly. Which we did a bit of up in the UP of Michigan as well. But I think you'll see.
Is that the one with Jacob Perry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just the amount of birds up there, the sheer number of birds. They got a old rustic cabin in the woods and it just screams like
nostalgia.
Quintessential. Yeah. It's a couple of miles down this tiny little winding road through the woods, up and down. And all of a sudden you come up and it's a dead end and it's this little log cabin overlooking a lake. It is beautiful. If you ever have a chance to go hunt with him, I think you would agree that a cup of coffee overlooking those different leaves on the other side. And then the, what's the golden needles on the, dang it.
Tamarack?
The tamaracks. The opposite side of the lake has a bunch of tamaracks. So it just on
Gold is not
fire.
a color, Travis.
Yeah. It's a color, Scott. We just got lectured by a graphics guy. Gold is not a color.
Gold
I'm
is
like,
not a color.
The sunset is gold. The golden hour.
It's orange.
Knock it off.
Al, go back to your pizza.
Yeah,
It's all
exactly. After that, we do meet one of the most passionate Pheasants Forever supporters that maybe will ever walk this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the impact that he's left on the ground. Then, Tyler, you just go hunting with some buddies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's after, like, now that I've done a couple of these episodes, I had the hardest time actually kind of putting together the script and stuff for this one, because it's literally just me and my friends doing what we do all the time. And so, but kind of it was a spectacle. I mean, we had hundreds of birds on every walk that were getting up in front of us. I mean, it was madness is really what it was. But, we'd started talking about wanting to do something like that. And we got 3 friends, core friends that are in the episode, plus George and Wes, who are also obviously friends. We had flushing dogs, we had pointing dogs, we had old dogs, we had young dogs. We had we just kind of embraced the spectacle that is North Dakota in November when you're going on just a pure straight up pheasant hunt. And I mean, it really didn't disappoint. I mean, we never, at no point in the walk, in this one particular walk, was there not birds in the air. I mean, we were just pushing a wall of pheasants towards this, what I referred to as the Alamo. It's this big giant draw system that's just packed full of plum thickets. I mean, packed full of plum thickets over top your head and everything else. And so we had a plan together where we were going to run the flushing dogs through, and we were going to push them all towards the end of the draw. And it worked out beautifully. We had, just a great time out there chasing those birds. The weather, we were planning on hunting in the snow, but we had kind of that same fall that everybody else had. And the birds were wild, and they were flushing way ahead, but we still had just an absolute hoot when we were out here doing that. And got a chance to, one of my friends that's in the episode, Alex, he's on my pool team. And so we had a little pool playing competition in the garage after we got done hunting the one night, and got a little bit of that filmed in there as well. So it's going to be a fun episode. I can't wait to see how that one comes out.
Nice. I close out my last 3 shows with a variety of quail from Kansas to Oklahoma and Iowa, mixed in with some pheasants in Iowa, obviously. Scott, Hank Hunt
5.
Jeepers.
I know. Can you believe that?
I know. It doesn't,
Hank's been gone 5 years now.
Well, 6, because the first year was to celebrate him after, wasn't it?
Well, we did the Hank Hunt on the 21st. Year of 2021 was the first one. So it's 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 5 years. I took my shoes off, Trav.
Yeah.
So.
Look at you go.
I know.
Put them back on, please.
Please
we
put
don't
'em
need to
back
see
on.
that.
It was, and this one was different because it was parent-child Hank Hunt. And just like all the Hank Hunts, we had people from Pennsylvania, Virginia, Michigan, Minnesota.
If you listen to the podcast, that was really, really cool to listen to.
Yeah. We had so many firsts on the hunt. I'm not even going to talk about them because you're going to have to watch it. And the best thing for me is watching the interactions between the parent and their children. And then this whole group of people are all friends now, and they're all texting one another. And in fact, I just got an email from John Larkin, who was on the hunt. He's going to get a new dog in Wyoming, and is going to be coming to the Twin Cities next Monday, and wants to stop by and show the puppy and say hi.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
awesome.
it was, and we were, it's late season hunting. So a lot of slough hunting, which, it's the same thing that Tyler was describing, except out of the slough is hundreds and hundreds of birds. And I have seen that at Brown's. Brown's has a very unique setup to host us, to hunt wild birds. But I like watching the other people's face as this things just keep exploding. And you know what's going through their minds, like, oh crap, they're all gone. The birds are gone. And then all of a sudden the rooster gets up right in front of them. Yeah. And it was, and Hannah joined me, which was fun. And there's a part in this episode where I would tell people to turn their TVs down because Hannah lets out a rebel yell that you will not, if you don't turn it down, your hearing will definitely be injured.
Tyler, you took us far west to get after the mountains. and
Yep.
Hungarian partridge and chucker and valley quail. Did it live up to the hype?
It did for me. And so this hunt was pretty bittersweet for me because I had part of the thing that I wanted to accomplish on this particular hunt is that I had shot every upland bird species in North America except valley quail. And I had done all those species of birds in North America over Rusty. And so Rusty's kind of at the end of his hunting career. He's when we filmed, he was about 12 and a half years old. And I wanted to be able to give him that kind of gift to kind of cap off a pretty epic career for a bird dog. And we were able to do it. We were right out on the Idaho-Oregon border. I got a couple of really good friends out there, Katie Willis and Kirk Adams. And Kirk spent a lot of time going out and talking to private landowners that were close to a lot of public stuff just to try to find a place that was gentle enough to run the old man on. Rusty's his back end's starting to get pretty weak on him. And especially if he hunts, pretty hard. And so we got out there, we caught the first snow of the year. And I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything better. And when we were driving to this spot, and I'd been talking to Kirk for quite a while leading up to the hunt, he's like, I got the Rusty spot. And he was so excited. And I was like, really? And he's like, oh man, he said, there's so many valley quail there. He said, it's almost tabletop flat. And then it butts up to this big kind of ridge line that goes up into the BLM and into the sagebrush behind it. And he had a couple of spots from the same landowner. We went and hunted one spot and didn't end up moving anything. And when we were driving through this guy's feedlot, there was 600-700 valley quail running around on the ground in front of us and everything else.
Gosh.
And like we're going right down the road to where we're going to be hunting, and where we parked the truck, there was valley quail sitting in a tree. There was valley quail running around on the ground. And we let that old dog out and we ran just him with me and Katie and Kirk. And leading up to this, Katie had told me, she's like, a really good valley quail hunt can get pretty silly. She's like, it can get, lots and lots of shells, and we're going to have to be very cautious about what's going on. We had Parker with, and we made sure that, all the shooting was going on in front of us because it can get pretty wild. I mean, you got birds going left, right, behind you, at you, everything else. And so having a small group of people like that, and one dog on the ground that's old enough where, if we could probably outrun
That's
Rusty
overwhelming
at this
for
point.
Rusty.
Yeah.
Right. But watching him pick apart those singles in the sagebrush and the snow was just unbelievable. And so, this is part that kind of the behind the scenes stuff. When we were walking out, he got so focused, Rusty did, on all these literally hundreds of quail going ahead of us. And not going to lie, so did we. And we pushed probably just a little bit farther than we should have. And we had a lot of those birds going up onto that big hillside, and we started going up there and chasing them because we're bird hunters and that's what we do. And that's what a bird dog does as well. But Rusty was so shot by the end of that walk. We'd only gone a couple miles, but it's slippery. There's snow on the ground. The cover is you got to go around everything in that sagebrush. And when we got back to the road, he was so tired he couldn't get out of the ditch. Oh. And I literally had to pick him up and carry him up to the road and let him sit there. And Katie went up and got the truck and came back down, and we picked him up, and he was fine. He hunted a bunch after that as well. But so that's kind of what makes it a little bit bittersweet, is seeing, probably the end of his hunting career, being able to actually be able to get out there and do it in situations like that. And, traveled with that dog from the Arctic Circle all the way to Mexico, or to the Mexican border. And in fact, before the border wall was built down in Arizona, he was on point on the wrong side of the border. So we may have invaded Mexican space at one point to go and flush a covey of Mearns quail. So, he's a very special dog to me. And then we were able to show some puppies, because Kirk and Katie both had puppies that were like sub 1 year old, and just take those two knuckleheads out and watch those two go rip through the sage. We had just a ball out there. It was super cool.
Well, and the Parker that you're talking about is our Parker who was shooting this story, and you spoiled.
Right.
Well, actually, Kirk and Katie spoiled him because, as you said, the food was phenomenal.
Kirk did. Yeah, Kirk and his wife Sarah put us up in their beautiful
okay,
house.
Sarah, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And these are just ultra cool people. So Kirk's now on the Idaho board for backcountry hunters and anglers. Him and his wife both, I think Kirk's the international shipping director for FedEx. And he just has this huge passion for the outdoors as well as playing host. He loves playing host. So, every night when we got done, there was a unbelievably good meal. I mean, like unbelievably good meal.
Yeah, well, Parker only wants to go with you now.
No,
Tyler.
yeah. We had a lot of fun out there, and he.
I took Parker to the fanciest restaurant in Nobles County, Minnesota.
Hardee's does not count, Travis.
It wasn't Hardee's. It was fancier than that.
Yeah,
but we had to pay with cash. They didn't accept credit card.
By the second day, he's like, "Man, this is a lot of fun. I think I just want to hunt with you." I was like, "Oh, you go with Travis, you're going to be roughing it. And if you go with me, you're going to be staying in my buddy Kirk's beautiful house, eating 5-star meals."
Everybody's
one good host,
Yeah.
one good trip with Kirk, and now
everybody's been
Tyler's
warning him all his whole
Yeah.
career about going on flush shoots, and then he goes on one with Tyler, and it's
Mm-hmm.
5-star meals.
He's like, everybody's
hot-
complaining.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got it
I
made.
cook a lot, when we're in the camper and stuff. But they're probably going to see some beautiful things too if they
Yep.
come with me.
That's
They
right.
like
We all
peanut
have
butter
our-
and jelly.
Yeah. What do you think would be the biggest downfall of hunting with each of us? Like for me, it would probably be just how far away from everything else I get.
And I know another one is it's like one more hill. Well, just one more hill.
Yeah,
We're gonna go.
exactly. Gotta
Yeah.
go get my dog. She's over there.
That's why he
One
wants
more.
to go do one more.
Yeah, one more.
Me-
How about for you?
I think they all think I'm just watching them, because it's
Sure.
the boss. You're like, what, is you watching me? What am I doing?
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on?
Am I gonna get fired?
Yeah.
They're gonna tell you, I got that one.
Yeah.
I got it. No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
They feel like they gotta have the record button going at all
Edit
times.
that one out.
Yeah.
Edit that miss out.
You're looking good, Mr. Fransen.
Thank you.
Great shot.
Well,
Mr.
and then I
Fransen.
do ask them to lay my clothes out for me before I hunt and polish my boots, but that's to be expected.
Part of it.
How about for you, Tyler?
Well, I haven't done enough of them yet to be able to find my particular downfall, I guess. But with all three of mine had a very common thread through all the episodes. It's we're gonna have a ton of fun, not take anything too seriously, but we have goals. And so being able to kind of check some of those boxes off is pretty important to me. And I'll kind of push a little bit farther and harder than I need to sometimes to get those different parts of it checked off. But, like all my shoots were super easy this year because it was all things that I know, except for the valley quail one. I'd never hunted valley quail before. I'd seen some valley quail, but never in an area where I could hunt them. And so that one was kind of the one thing that was a little bit of a question mark for me, is exactly how all that was going to go. But, just trust the people that I was out there hunting with to be able to know where to go and what to do and all that kind of stuff. I was going into it blind, and it turned out great.
Yeah. As you keep continuing to film and hunt with other people, your vetting process becomes a little bit more intense because you got to trust somebody, especially if you're going into really wild places.
Yeah.
That this is somebody that you can rely on if something bad should happen. You want to make sure you're safe out there as well.
And we ran into some of that too. Like
Yeah.
I mentioned the weather. We had a plan where we were gonna. It was gonna be kind of the Idaho-Oregon borderlands, but we were gonna. We wanted to do that thing with Rusty with the valley quail, and then we were gonna go up into the mountains and chase chuckers and huns. But we got that snow, and the roads getting up into the mountains were bad. I mean, really, really bad. And then you get up there and everything's kind of melting and frozen. And so everything's super icy and you're in very, very steep country. And so we went up there the one day when the snow was coming in, and we had that discussion at the truck. It's like, we had one really good walk where we got into some Huns and seen some chuckers, and then the winds are blowing 40 miles an hour and the fog's rolling in and it's snowing and it's super icy and it's nasty. And we were talking, we're like, God, do we want to chance one more hunt? Like, do we really want to make one more? We might be staying overnight up here in the trucks if we make one more walk. And we did end up going on one more walk, got into a bunch of valley quail, seen some chuckers that flushed wild and all that kind of stuff. And then we're like, okay, we got to get out of here. Yeah. But I mean, it can literally be that. And that's why going with Kirk and Katie was so nice, because those guys live there and they both hunt. Kirk probably hunts 100 or probably 70, 80 days a year, and Katie hunts 120, 130. So their trucks are like a mobile survival unit. They got straps, they got blankets, they got all the stuff up there that you would need just in case you had a breakdown, which is certainly a possibility in some of that wild country. Or, Katie's a nurse if somebody gets hurt or whatever. So it like all that kind of stuff, and being able to hunt with people that I already knew put me very much at ease.
Yeah, Katie's one of one. She is a character in herself. I've been wanting to have her on our show for many years. I'm glad that you did it, Tyler.
Man, there is
awesome.
a part of this episode that is going to heavily feature Katie Willis. And It is like, just be prepared to get a chance to meet and know her the way that she actually is. So what we're talking about, Travis has already seen some of it. She did a full rendition of this while we were on a hunt. That's why I asked her this question in the interview, because I wanted her to kind of try to go into some of that again, because and Parker, he just stood there and laughed and wasn't filming her out in the field. And I was like, what are you doing, man? Like, this is gold.
Well, Tyler got to hunt with all his buddies at his favorite spots last year. So we should have a little impromptu production meeting right now and volunteer Tyler to go anywhere.
I'm going to get voluntold.
Right now. Yeah,
going to get voluntold.
We'll send you on hunts that Travis or I pick out for you.
Oh,
public land
lovely.
Roosters in Ohio.
Or in Pennsylvania, where there are none.
For his first episode. Yep. Now somebody from Ohio is listening, and they're like, come on.
Yeah, you're going to get letters on that.
Don't send him over to my spot.
I'll find pheasants. Now, I can find pheasants anywhere. If there's a pheasant to be found, I'll find it.
New York City.
New York City.
Well, hey, what was that landed in Central Park in New York City?
That was a woodcock.
Oh, that was a woodcock. I knew it wasn't a pheasant, but you could go for woodcock.
Millions of people
Travis could
were
find
introduced to a woodcock. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you have, we'll have our own internal production meeting, but do you remember last year when we were joking about we all go together, the three of us, and we have to split up?
I was just going to bring this up. I still love this idea so much. I think it would be a blast.
Where do we do it though? It's got to be on neutral ground. It can't be Tyler's backyard.
Ohio.
Ohio, that's a great one.
I 100% agree. I think it should be New Mexico. I've hunted it one time 10 years ago, and I've never hunted it since. And the one time I hunted it, I didn't shoot any birds there. And last year, New Mexico had a boom in scale quail populations. I think that going down there with the three of us on a fun little road trip like that and having some sort of a little fun competition between the three of us would be a blast.
I have a flushing dog.
Dude, that is first of all your fault. But you would not be. You would not have any kind of a disadvantage with a flushing dog and scale quail at all. It would. In fact, I think flushing dog with scale quail and gambles is probably the way to go.
Okay,
since he's the boss,
road. How about an RV?
As soon as you said he might have an advantage, he was like, "Yeah, I'm there."
RV.
Yeah. No,
that's a long trip, and then RV.
Or we could do. We could something where there's multiple different species.
Sure.
Yeah. So
we could do somewhere in North Dakota that
I had
Tyler
a couple of
doesn't
listeners
hunt a
send
lot.
us some
We could do
ideas.
Montana. Montana would be a good one. There's a bunch of different species there. And
I like that.
And on top of
I
it,
hate
so
Montana.
it's all common. It's all common ground there because we've all hunted Montana.
We'll stay out at
before.
Scott's Place in Montana.
We
There
could
you
do
go.
that. We could
That'd
do
be
that.
fun.
Okay.
Be a little tougher on the pheasants, but
Yeah,
there's a
but then
few
that
around.
feels like it's Scott's backyard, and then Scott. Gets
That's
advantage
okay.
of it.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay.
We're fine.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
fine.
How do you feel about that, Scott?
I know where the grizzlies are. They don't.
True. That's true. Are you looking forward to, I'll ask both of you guys, anything in particular you're looking forward to this year for what you're looking to film? And maybe this is a good way for us to ask our listeners right now. If you, we do this every year. If you have a great idea that you would love to see on the TV show, send it our way. If you want to be on the show with us and you think this is a great adventure, this is a story that needs to be told, a person that you know, like this guy is legendary to you, and here's why. I mean, we tell stories about people. That's what we do,
Right.
in places, and we would love to share your story. So we don't know it until you tell us. Maybe you want Tyler to come up, maybe you want Scott, maybe you want me. I don't know, but send them our
You have
way.
to lay out my clothes for me if I come
Oh
home
my
with
gosh,
you.
he's so high maintenance. Send them our way, and then we keep this. We take all the ideas and we try to figure out where we can be during the hunting season, what makes sense, and if it works this year, great. If not, maybe we go next year. I have stories from the last 5-6 years that are still lingering, and we just keep them coming. Keep them coming. And who knows, maybe we'll be coming to Oregon to film with you, or Montana, or
Idaho. Or,
yeah. I mean, Scott, we just had multiple high school graduation invitations,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And just thinking back at some of the stories we
for
told.
the flush.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there's a young guy in northern Minnesota that we did a story on. I
long
felt
time
like it
ago.
was just a
Gosh,
year
I
or two
know.
ago, but all of a sudden he was just
And
a
now
little
he's
kid.
graduating.
And this dog was a hunting dog for the family, but it was also it helped him
His
to
therapy
cope with
dog.
his therapy dog with high anxiety.
Mhm.
And seeing the invitation for his graduation, I took
Yep.
a picture and I sent it to you. You were in Montana. I go,
Yeah.
Scott, look at this. And you had one
And
waiting
then
for
there's
you.
one
when you
waiting
got-
for me at the house.
Yeah. And he was all grown up now. And I kept thinking,
Yep.
he was like 5,
Yeah. He might
That's
be
great.
a
8,
little older,
7.
but
I don't
yeah.
know, but it felt like he shouldn't be.
He was on that hunt. Between the hunt, he was busy trying to get the record in the Pac-Man game at the lodge. Remember that?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
on the pinball machine.
Right.
Yeah. And,
Oh, man.
and then Samuel O'Hara sent me one who I filmed with 2 years ago. And now he's graduating. And yeah, I love the idea of the three of us hunting together. So I'll throw out another location where we've all hunted. Kansas is another one, multi-species.
Kansas would be a good one.
Okay. I'll
So
go.
we'll get and ask the listeners if you have some ideas on places to go hunt to do this.
Yep.
I think we got to put that one on the books. We have to have at least one time, because the three of us have never hunted together either.
Correct. Yep.
True story. Yeah.
We got to come up with some sort of fun rules for this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
got time.
like, if Kansas would be a good one because there's 3 good species and even technically 4 species of upland game birds there. We could do prairie chickens, pheasants, bobwhites, and there are scale quail down there in the far southwest part of the state. So, I mean, you know, depending on where you wanted to locate out of, we could have, I don't know, some sort of a point system based on which species you get, maybe. I don't know. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Do we all leave the same parking lot or the same point?
I
together
think
and we
so
have to
because
walk?
like
Instead, otherwise, you know, somebody could drive 2 hours away and come
Yeah.
back with.
Yeah. But at some point we have to all be hunting together too. I want
Right.
some of the banter. I want to, let you guys know when I shoot your bird.
well, Scott's never. And
Oh, I
correct
didn't
me
know it
if
was
I'm
whoever
wrong,
gets
Scott.
there first.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, but you've never shot prairie chickens, right?
I have not. No.
And so-
that's on my bucket list.
And that'd be one of those bird species that you would have a little bit of a disadvantage with Millie on. But
Yeah.
me and Travis have the dogs for that kind of country. And so maybe I'd be all right with you shooting your first prairie chicken over one of our dogs.
I'd love that.
That'd be cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it would be competitive out of the gate, but we'd all be high fiving each other.
We'd sing
when
Kumbaya
Scott- yeah,
afterwards.
exactly,
We'd hold
exactly.
hands.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I do. The other one I want to do this year, and I think I will do it, is I want to do Minnesota pheasant opener from the Legends Lodge.
Oh, okay.
We've kind of got our little tradition going there, and I'm very optimistic about the Minnesota pheasant population.
There's a lot
this
of
year.
reason to be optimistic. If you
Yeah.
drive anywhere in western Minnesota right
Mhm.
now, hard not to see a pheasant.
So I would throw that one in the mix that I'd like to do.
Okay. Well, send us your ideas. Any of the following methods would work.
Mm-hmm.
You can Google Scott Fransen's home address and show up at his front door
Yeah, that would be a good
and
one.
pitch it.
Yeah, pitch it.
That's a good one.
Or send us a video.
Remember
To
like
try-
America's
Yeah.
Funniest Home Videos where they used to send in the
Yeah.
video? Oh my
You
gosh,
should send
that
us
would
a
be
video.
great.
And what's your phone number? Have them text you a video.
Exactly.
That would be a great podcast idea
That
if they had
would be.
funny hunting videos or something.
Yeah.
America's
Funniest
funniest
hunting
hunting
videos.
videos. I love it.
Scott, can you get us a TV deal for that show?
Actually, that was a long time ago. I thought that would be a great show. Just America's Funniest Outdoor Videos where they do fishing, hunting, hiking, whatever it is type of thing.
Well, I guess we're bringing your idea back to life.
Yeah, let's do it.
On our production meeting, I think we could easily add. We just added another show for Onyx Hunt. Let's add another one internally here.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
You could host it and produce it.
We're out of time today. So our social handles, any of the flush, either on Facebook, on Instagram, or on our website. If you send a message, it'll get probably sent directed to me at somehow, some way. And then these ideas for this coming season, send them over, please. We can't wait to hear about them. We will be in touch. I believe I respond to all of them unless it's a complete jerk.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
So if he doesn't respond, you know what that
Or
says.
if it's signed by the Bird Hammer.
The bird hammer. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure we respond to everything. I've been out of office for a majority of the last couple weeks, other than just sneak in here, record a podcast, and get back out. So I've got a couple weeks worth of emails to get back on, to get back to people on. But looking forward to reading yours. And Tyler, looking forward to watching you all the time on TV. Scott,
You just hold my hand.
I
hold my hand. You're
It'll
just
be
like
great.
seeing me every day in the office.
I know. I see enough of you, but I think our viewers will also enjoy your shows
You
as
think
well.
so?
I think so.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
thank you.
I think you do a nice job.
Please
Al?
enjoy his show so we can all get raises.
I'll do a lot more vlogging this year.
Please.
Yeah, about that. We'll let
We
the
actually cut the
viewers
budget on
decide
that
what
one,
they
so-
think about that.
In 2 weeks, though, we launch. So please
I know,
watch in 2
it's
weeks.
happening. Oh, I didn't say that. Yes.
Yeah.
The first week of July.
See, I should be
The
doing
first episode airs, and then from now through the end of December, you can catch a new episode every week on the Outdoor Channel. And then at that point, we will be streaming them on our YouTube channel as well, starting the first week of January, which, by the way, we need to renegotiate with the Outdoor Channel. We want to start streaming them after the first run.
Yeah, I don't know that they'd like that.
I don't
but-
think they would like that, but
That sounds
You know
like
what?
an internal.
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to
we can
pull
ask.
some-
You know, just
pull some
ask,
weight.
right?
Yeah.
Just
The
ask.
squeaky
Yeah.
wheel gets the grease.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I mean, NHL players or MLB players can say they want to go to a new team, and then somehow it just happens.
Yeah,
You know,
till next year when
flex
they're all
it.
locked out.
Flex a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially that guy Cash Consideration. That guy gets traded around everywhere.
All the time. Yeah.
Mhm.
You should
All right. That's
mute
enough for
yourself,
us
though.
today. We appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate all the sponsors that make this possible. We hope you enjoyed this new season of the television show featuring the Bird Hammer himself over there, Scott Fransen, myself, and a cast of characters too great to sum up in this one podcast. You'll have to check it out for yourself. We'll be back next week, Big Al, with another episode of the Flush Podcast.